How are y'all doing today? So, real quick, psychics, prophetic dreams, visions, all of it. Let's talk about that for a minute. My lips are weird. When you have dreams that undoubtedly come true, you're a psychic. You have psychic abilities. You're a prophet. You're having prophetic visions and spiritual experiences that you can claim as prophetic, psychic, and that you are spiritually gifted. And I know that that might be scary for some of you because it was scary for me. And so you might be trying to ignore it and you might have been judged because of it. You might be afraid because no one in your family has acknowledged it or even family judges you. But I'm here to tell you, you are psychic. You are prophetic. You have that gift. You are a seer. You are a visionary. And be okay with that. Be okay with it. How do you be okay with it? It is that courage. It's that confidence. Letting go of that fear. Because it can be very confusing. You can doubt yourself. But you can't shake it. When you wake up, sometimes you won't know you dreamt or you feel like you have, but you still question it. And you're just like, something happened. Like I experienced that dream, but I can't remember all of it. Like you could just remember bits and pieces of it. Comment down below and share if this has happened to you. A few of my colleagues over the last few weeks have shared, and friends have shared dreams. I've shared mine. And some of them are just kind of walking into their gifts. Some of them haven't really acknowledged it, but they are in that beginning stage of being unable to ignore it because they're talking about it. And look at what you were taught. Remember this. If you're wondering how to get through that next phase courageously, little step by step, because the majority have been taught through a religious umbrella. You might have been taught that you cannot be a prophet unless you look a certain way. You cannot be a seer unless you come from a certain part of the world. That you cannot be psychic and still love Jesus. Come on, somebody. I know I'm not the only one who has been judged severely. Still am. But you know what? We always will be, because people love to hate who they cannot be. People love to destroy what is love. That's what some people, I think, are on this earth in this third dimension to do. Some people are like heat missiles when you share your spiritual gifts or when you are courageously walking in that path or tapping into it, you know? So on one aspect, that makes you kind of jump back into the spiritual closet and hide and try your best to ignore your gifts, right? But you can't, because they're going to keep surfacing, and your human is going to begin to kind of courageously step back and allow you, the soul within, to speak up. Because remember, we are dual beings, and you are spiritually gifted, and you are the soul within your human, and you are tapped in. And when you tap into your path, your divine pathway, when you're on that road, it's going to be very difficult for you to keep ignoring blessing other people through your gifts. So, hey Juan, come on in, type in your pound 1111. Everybody come on in, type in your pound 1111 so people know what it means. And that is the opening of the spirit realm. And hit that thumbs up button. Show me some support, some love. Subscribe. Come on back for more free spiritual guidance. And thank you so much. So Juan asks, thank you, how does spirit versus flesh work with spiritual guidance? That's an excellent question. If you want to be a monk, but spirit has you still in the flesh. Oh my gosh, what an excellent question. Hey T. Bryant. Okay. So when you look at the flesh, I want you to know this. Your flesh is dense matter, right? Science has already proven that. But your flesh has a name. And your flesh is not just flesh. Your flesh is walking through life, making decisions, being told what to do. Your flesh is your human, and your human follows direction that they're given in this third dimension. So your human is taught by parents, guardians, family, friends, society, experiences, work, management, supervisors, co-workers, children, all of it, right? Establishments, the whole 9 yards. But your human is also fear-based energy, natural. You might have heard of the fight or flight response. Chemically, your human responds in a way that is based on a belief from what your human learned. That's fear. It's learned. It is not something that is innate. When we're it's learned. When we're born, science has already proven that we are only naturally afraid of, the fear of heights and the fear of loud sounds. That's it. We come into this world naturally fearing two things, and that's it. So when you think of the connection you have with your human, right? I don't like to say pain body. I respect Eckhart Tolle. I know he's very famous for that term, but I don't like the term because our human goes through enough and doesn't need to be called anything that we're trying to get away from. So your human is its own energy. It is dense matter, but it is still energy. And your human goes through life making decisions based on what your human is taught. Now, during an awakening, a spiritual awakening, you, the soul, is who came here to check out spiritual guidance. You directed your human and you decided to tell your human what to do, and your human either acquiesced, agreed for the moment, or is along for the ride. Whatever stage you're in, you're building a connection with your human, and your human with you, because your human's deal is not spiritual. Okay, so your human has a brain. We know what the human's brain looks like. We know what the human's internal organs looks like, right? The flesh. However, that human deserves your respect just as much as your human deserves everyone else's respect. And so one of my signature steps, and you know this, anybody that has taken our courses, it absolutely works, that you have to become best friends with your human. So you have to take that step, and that's a big deal. So I encourage you to do that. The connection that we have with our human is that we are the soul within our human, and our human needs to do what we say to do. So you mentioned that you want to become a monk, but spirit has you still in the flesh. Honey, you're going to always be in that flesh, but your mindset is changing through your awakening. And so respect your flesh and call your flesh by your flesh's name. Don't take away from who your human is. Because there's going to be times that you're going to need your human at always in order to survive in this third dimension that science calls life. Even though you, the soul within your human, vibrate in that spiritual highway, which is the fourth dimension, and loves the fifth, where we all meet up. So the biggest mistake that I see people make in spiritual awakening is forgetting that respect has to be given to our human in order for our human to respect our awakening. Because a spiritual awakening is the moment we're alerted to our untapped or our unlimited potential. And that could very well be you tapping into your calling of being a monk. But until you reach that equilibrium, how can you take another step forward in your mission if you're not even respecting your human? Does that make sense? I hope that that makes sense. So we have to respect our human in a different way. And first, one of the first steps that I teach is just becoming friends with your human. What is your human's name? It may not be your government name. And what is your name? Do you know who you are? So it's really important that you call your human by what your human says is their name. And that you introduce yourself and you tell your human what your name is. Because everyone else has, you know. And if you're going to be directing your human to be on your purpose-driven life, which you should, because you're the one tapped into spirit, then in becoming best friends, you've got to know each other like no one else. So it's going to take the isolation. And I love that your calling or your desire is to be a monk, because that isolation is key. And a lot of people are afraid of it in spiritual awakening. But it has to happen because you know that spirit speaks to us in the silence. And we receive our spiritual guidance through the silence. Right? So I hope I've answered your question. Does that make sense? I hope I haven't confused you at all. But yeah, and so when since this video is talking about psychic premonition, dreams, you know that dreams are interpretation, right? We know that it's really important to interpret your dream correctly. Very important to pay attention to your dreams. And a lot of my clients don't dream, or so they think. Okay? Until we start looking at the other different facets of whether they are, when they are in their human is in their fasting state and they are back in the spirit realm 100%, or we are in this third dimension we call life, or we are astral projecting, whatever the case is. But you experience your dreams because you're traveling, and your dreams are real. Science again has proven that it is extremely difficult to wake us up out of our sleep, our human, unless we are being, unless there's alarm or, a loud sound, or we're being shaken out of a sleep. But when we're waking up out of a deep sleep and we're just suddenly awake, what do you think is waking you up? So we have to recognize when we are awake and we are being awakened, we have to see that sign and that physical behavior that's happening. We have to associate that with what it really is, which is spiritual. Oh, honey, we had about 5 more minutes. So, yeah, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. If you have any questions, that's what I'm here for sure. So when your dreams are coming true, I want you all to tap into that. We've got our ebook. You can look at it over at, where is it? spiritualguidanceacademy.com. It should be the only option there. And I want you to really check it out because it'll help you with the fear and the confusion. And you'll find all the steps out. You'll learn what to do with spiritual attack, um, spiritual warfare, psychic attack, and anybody that has tapped into their purpose, and you feel the haters, you feel anyone that is like working against you, or just jealous, envious, or just upset that you are going in your path, check that out. Check that out. It is Stop the Confusion and the Fear. And it's an audio book. And it's awesome because it's going to give you the tips that you need to be courageous, to be fearless, but to also have clarity in your spiritual mission and why things are happening the way they are. So remember, you always want to look at your what you're feeling on your crown chakra, what you're feeling radiating up and down your spine, your arms, all of it, the spiritual tingles, right? The sensations, we know that is spiritually guided spiritual communication. It is SGSC. So write that down as SGSC. Spiritually guided spiritual communication. And that is the Holy Spirit. We talk about in spirituality, we talk about spirit, you know, we talk about spiritual awakening. It's the same thing. The Holy Spirit, the Most High, Allah, Jehovah, Jah, God, Divine Source, however way you call God, our higher power, our Creator, however way you call that one being outside of ourselves and inside of ourselves, Spirit, of which we are deeply connected. And so I feel, depending on how you were raised, what religious umbrella or not, maybe no religious umbrella, but there are different rules that your human has followed. And so just respect your human. As you go through your awakening, respect what your human was taught, because now that you have been awakened to your purpose or to the theme that's happening in your awakening. Now you have to direct your human, and your human has to listen. And that's hard because you're relearning your human. You're reteaching. Your human has to relearn in a way that's not natural to your human. Your human is very familiar with death, as far as death as the human energy knows it, which that side of the human doesn't come back. But you don't die. You transform. You transition. Just as good and as just like a fruit that falls from the tree, goes into the earth, rots, goes right back into the earth, replenishes the soil. And the seeds within that fruit bear more fruit. You, the soul within your human, transform. But your human is very aware that there is a limit to human energy. So you have to respect that. You have to respect that. I don't want to hear anybody saying, and you were taught, so don't be upset with your human. Your human was taught. Human did what they were supposed to do. Being obedient, right? Being a good girl, being a good boy, you know? Not making waves, being nice, right? Comprehending, understanding what they're taught, right? Not talking back. That's disrespectful. All of it. And now in your awakening, you start to see, wait a minute. What? That's not, no. No. So good. I'm glad that you're waking up to your spiritual life that has always been there, but now you are in the driver's seat. And that's weird to your human. So yeah. Wolf dude, how's it going? Well, how you been? We are spirits. Yes, we are. Yes, amen. Night Angel, you better come on in here and put in your pound 1111. How you doing, honey? The negative will challenge the flesh because it doesn't want you to follow your blessed path. Stand firm. I love that. Stand firm. Yes. And you know what? Standing firm. How do we do that, Night Angel? How will one stand firm? Right? It's through our human energy. So that's why we have to respect our human and really call our human what they want to be called and introduce ourselves to our human too. Because our human's job is to protect us. And our human is doing it the best way they know how. So now that you're waking up and you're talking more, you're wondering more, you're questioning more, your human knows what's going on. It's confusing. It's confusing to you, but your human knows that something is happening because that'll make your human feel crazy. You feel it in the air, your human feels it. It's the metaphysical energy that your human feels. You know? And your human doesn't understand it because it's spiritual, so you have to be the one to explain that to your human. Yep. Thank you, Night Angel. Night Angel says, don't feed the negative by not falling into confusion nor lack of confidence nor insecurity. That's right. Now, Angel Spirit is asking me if you wrote your book. Because this is the year for you. This is the year for you. Then you need to write that book, publish it, get it out there. Like now. Like for real. It's a poem. Poetry. Poetry. You need to get that out there. This is the year to do it. This is your year. Whew. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody else out there is supposed to be working on cars. And Spirit just said, sit back and relax and watch the money flow in. Who in the world is supposed to be working on cars? Who's supposed to be working on cars? Y'all know y'all putting it out there. You better go on ahead and do it. Sit back and relax and watch the money flow in. That's your year. This is your year to do it. Wow. Oh, let's see. I'm sorry. You said, dang, I knew you were going to ask me that. No, I haven't, but I didn't think about it again. Oh, you did think about it again on New Year's Eve. Awesome. Okay, well, get it done. Get it done. And if you're, if fear is holding you back, get over there, get our ebook, but take that next step. Use the resources that you need. Okay. Yeah. So, all right, spiritual superstars, I definitely want you to know that your dreams, prophetic, psychic premonitions, and there's different meanings. Snakes are not always evil. Moths are definitely uh, bad in the third dimension and in dreams too. And water is spirituality, and the different nature of the water, the temperature, the color of it, the clarity, the murkiness. If it's dirty water, if it's there's waves, if it's really tumultuous, all of that matters in a dream. As much as if you can see yourself, or if you can sense that you are actually looking through your own human eyes. And so then you know that you're traveling. Okay, you really are having an experience that is in the spiritual realm, could be in another dimension, could be in the future, you could be going back in past life regression and experiencing that, and pay attention to it, because in those experiences you find answers. And your spiritual relationship, your relationship with the Most High, is personal, is private, and I hope and pray that everybody is comfortable knowing that. Just knowing that you can talk to our Creator and you will receive your spiritual guidance. You will. You will. And when you receive that SGSC all over your human, you feel the sensation, you feel the tickling up and down your spine, you feel the grace on your cheek, you feel the flutter on your arm, all of it, it means something. The tingling on the top of your head, all of it. All right, I gotta go. I love y'all.